Welcome back. Steve Price in for Peter and that great segment with Kel Richards' Words of the Week coming up shortly. But I want to talk about small business. A devastating blow for small businesses. Figures out today reveal that in the last 12 months it has been the worst on record for companies unable to pay their debts, with a record 10,400 businesses collapsing. You read about one every day. Joining us now to look at this and other matters, commentator and athlete Jamie Rogers and One Nation Chief of Staff James Ashby. Guys, welcome. I appreciate you both being with us. James, a day doesn't go past where you don't see a business fall over. I mean, you know, hospitality's been particularly hard hit. Construction probably the hardest because of the rise in cost of materials. But we keep hearing from Jim Chalmers, the Treasurer, that everything's great. Inflation's going down. We're going to get another interest rate cut and the economy couldn't be better. Although I know tens and tens and tens of people who are out on the street without a job.
Yeah, a lot of this has to do with the fact that when the Albanese government came to power 3 years ago, they gave explicit instructions to the ATO to go hard after those businesses that had any outstanding debt. And who were they? Well, they were the businesses that were hit hardest, and that was the hospitality industry. And secondly, construction, because costs went up, as you rightfully pointed out, but the hospitality industry was closed for such a long time, which gave them an inability to actually pay down any of those ATO debts. And I might just say this to you, Steve, the reality of it is, you know, yes, while businesses and Australians might owe $105 billion to the tax office, student loans exceed $80 billion, and yet they're not going hard after students to try and recoup that. They're going hard after businesses because Labor don't understand small business. And as a result of some of those builders in particular from going bust, what happens is here in Queensland, and I assume it's the same across the rest of the country, they lose their builder's licence. And what are we in desperate need of right now? Builders and construction. So it's this domino effect that this Labor government have caused, hence the trouble we're in today. And I feel particularly very saddened for a lot of these businesses that are out there. I wouldn't go back into business. I came from small business. I understand the pains and the pressures of it. And ultimately, this is a Labor government responsibility for the collapse of so many Australian small mum and dad businesses.
Jamie, we keep seeing these figures about inflation coming down, and you know, I feel very sorry for cafe operators, people who are trying to run a small business. You know, they might have 5 or 6 people working there, a couple of people behind the coffee machine. We're now paying $10 for 2 coffees, and a lot of that is driven by the fact that wages and overtime have gone through the roof. And so to keep their business alive, they've got to charge us, the consumer, more money. But somehow people are telling us things are getting cheaper. These two things don't add up, do they?
No, Steve, it's so sad to see. Going into the last federal election, we were just hearing time and time again about businesses, small businesses, really struggling and feeling terrible about having to pass on these costs to the consumer. We saw 14,000 businesses go insolvent in this past financial year, which is up 26.8% from FY24. And it's just devastating when you see the sheer volume. New South Wales had the largest amount. And as James just mentioned, it's the cafes that are going under in the hospitality sector, but also in construction. And when you look at it, it's the high rents, insurance, interest, wages, electricity, gas, weaker consumer demand. Is just all of these costs are continuously going up and up and up, and businesses just can't do it anymore. And as James also mentioned about the ATO coming after that $105 billion in the company tax debt, and that's now adding more so to the pressure for these businesses not able to keep their doors open.
Jamie, we learned today the University of Pennsylvania is going to revoke the records set by a transgender